Hi people, so I'm actually learning that doing resin is the not so hard part. Making videos is the hard part. I'm still waiting on some equipment to try and get better angles and stuff. So I'm sorry that the angles on this video aren't that great. But in this video I'm going to be using the clock mould to make a clock. I'm going to use this, it's probably more of a fondant mould, but I'm going to try this. And also this is a very detailed dragon with lots of, you can see it's got just lots of sort of deep crevices. It's probably more like a crystalline type finish. So I will start by doing those and we'll see how we go. Thank you. I'm going to probably do, I'm going to use the split cup, and I'm going to do probably a blue, a green, and then just like an iridescent, so the three colours in the split cup. And then these I'm probably just going to do like purple mica powder in the resin, and then just mix it in and put it through. And this one I'll just probably do maybe the green or the purple, depending on how I'm going with how much resin I've got left over. So on that note, let's start mixing up some colours. So I'm just going to get my little scoop here. Excuse me. I'm just going to pop maybe a spoonful in. Closed. Alright, we're just going to give it a slow stir because we don't want too many bubbles. Okay, I think I might do this little guy first. So just make sure that's all mixed in. Now it's not very opaque, so I quite like it, that colour. I don't want too heavy a colour on here, so we've already painted it anyway, so it means that it's not all going to be this one colour, so we should be fine. Okay, let's give it a pour. I'm just going to try and get round that eye first. Just come down. Just don't want to overflow it because it is a flat mould, but I also want to make sure I get into these tighter areas. So oh, there's a big bubble sitting there. No, that's the eye. The eye has come loose. I didn't put put it in properly with the UV resin. So they're sticky eyes, so all I'll do is I'll make this up and I will stick it on at the end. So it's that good old make do sort of, you can usually find the excuse me, the answers. So this isn't going to be very good. It's not probably designed for resin, it's more designed for fondant. But we're going to do the best we can because we actually really do like dragons and we really do like this mould. So, excuse me, I'm just going to grab my dotting tool here and we're just going to try and move some of that resin around. So we'll just go in there, we'll just get our cloth there. I mean, it's just a flat piece anyway, so it's not going to be too imperative that it's all, I mean, I can always cut any little bits off that are overhangs and also sand it down. So but what we'll do is we'll just get our cloth here and we'll just get some of the ones we know, like we know that there's a bit of an overhang in there. And then just in here, there's quite a bit going on in there. And just get that up to there. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it'll work out okay. Only one way to find out, and that's in demoulding tomorrow. Right, let's see how we go with this. Okay, so we're going to want to sort of bring that down and just... I've seen people do this. This is because down in here there are the fine areas of his horns, and we want to make sure two things. We want to make sure we get all the resin right down into the bottom, but we also want to make sure we don't get any bubbles locked in down there. So we're going to need to mix up some more purple because this is not going to be enough for this one. But that's okay because we sort of envisaged that that was going to be the case, so not too much more needed though, so I might just grab a bit from here. And a bit more from here. Just going to steal some from the other pots to... that's going to be our clock, and we'll always be able to add more to the clock if we need to later. So we don't need as much because we haven't got as much resin, so probably just that should be fine. Okay, give that a bit of a stir. Now I use quite slow working resin, so these won't be taken out until tomorrow morning, but I will do the whole lighter over the... I can always already see bubbles coming to the surface on the, as you can see there, on the dragon, so I'm going to need to just put the naked flame over that to get rid of some of those bubbles, and then I'll do it again probably in about half an hour to an hour's time. I don't want that on there. Okay, so we'll just get into his little toes if we can. Into there. Oops. Okay, get into there. And around. Okay, so there's going to be probably a lot of areas where bubbles are going to catch up on here, because you can see sort of all around in here it's all really bumpy. It's quite a detailed mould, so there is going to be a lot of areas where bubbles are going to be able to get trapped and actually end up poking through. So once I've got it all made up, I will actually really go around and clear out as much of those bubbles as I can. Both these moulds are the first time I've used these moulds, so you'll just have to bear with me if all these fail. Well, I tried. Just get that up into there. Just get as much out as we can. Okay, I think that's as much as I'm gonna get off that. So I'm just gonna use this and scrape some of that excess off. Right, I think that's as good as we're gonna get. So we're just gonna clean off the mixer. Give it a good clean. Actually, I'll get this one. It's a bit finer, and we'll just poke some of that off so that we can try and get just quite a... Right, let's put him a bit more evenly on the... Oh, he's very delicate. Okay, so I just want to get around all these corners, up into some of these other areas. bobbly bit. Right, okay, so we'll, oh, there's one. I'll hope for the best on him as well, so sort of, because they just hang there, so they're sort of dropping down, which means a lot of the resin's dropping down to them. I might try and see about putting something that's a bit big. I want to use that, so we can't use that. Maybe that. Maybe the lid. Just so that it's, because it was dropping down, and so the resin was sort of dropping down into it, which was sort of overflowing the feet. So just watch your moulds as to how they sit. That one's just obviously, I'm going to need to probably look at fixing that in some way. Just get rid of that off there. Just clean that up a bit. Okay, so now I'm going to mix up some colours into here. So we want blue. Oh, I might not open this. This I have. Okay, let's have a look. Let's get this, give it a clean. I'm just going to get a bit of that much, that one. Okay. Go. And I want this colour. Now this is a paste, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that a bit of a stir, get some on here, and pop it into there. And the other colour is this one. Right, so not sure what colour this is going to do. I haven't used this one, so it's just one way to find out. So it's either going to be great, or it might just be a plain, which, I mean, we've got two other colours going on, so it's not really a problem. So, and I'm just going to chuck that in there. Okay, let's have a look. Let us mix some of these up. So we'll start with this one and just give that a bit of a stir. Okay, we'll just mix up that. And, oh, we need another stir. I'll mix up this. Oh. Okay, that's quite a nice sort of mother of pearly type colour, I think. See how it's white, but it's got pinks in, so I think when it mixes in with these three, it should be good. Hopefully it stays separated, but there's only one way to find out. We may end up with just some muddy coloured one, but we will see. So we just get all that into there. As much as this into there as we can. Sorry about this, I mean, it's very important to try and get as much of the resin out of the cup as possible. There's two reasons for that. One, it's going to make cleaning your cups a lot easier. I mean, I use silicone cups, so I'm just going to let it dry and then just basically break it off and peel it out. But if I've got big masses of leftover resin, it's going to be a lot harder to clean. Two, resin isn't that cheap, so you don't want to waste heaps of it every time you make something. Given the size of that, I'm probably going to need all of this resin that I can get. I'll probably even still have to make another batch of it later. And the other thing is that with that you can actually, I might just stop that there, you can use these in some, like if you have leftovers because you've had to make so much, you can use these little things like these, but you can use your leftover resin in some smaller moulds, so it's always handy to have just some little moulds in your collection, just so that you can use any surplus resin that you end up with at the end of sort of big projects, because it is hard to judge your resin quantities. So you probably will either end up having to make more because you don't have enough, or you're going to end up having leftovers because you have too much. So very handy to have. Here goes nothing. Spare things to put them into. So here we go. Well, it's so far got the 3 colours. Sort of just, I don't know, make some sort of patterning, because you've got probably your middle section was a larger sort of cup area if you look. I'm just going to grab this, actually I'll grab this one. I'm just going to get all the resin out of here. Okay, so I've filled the clock up. I'm just going to do a quick flame, go over with the flame. So hopefully when we demold this tomorrow, it'll have those 3 colours going through it quite nicely, especially at the front. But you can still see there's quite a good colour mix up in there, but there's only one way to find out, and that's going to be in the morning. Okay, so here's the finished products. It's the following morning. So we've got this dragon here. You can see he's very spiky. I really like him. I might do him again at some stage, but put some mica powder, chameleon powder on, just to make it really pop and be a bit more colourful. And here's this little guy. Now I put the bubbly eye on afterwards, since we lost it in the resin at the beginning. I just made a little keychain. This is luminescent, so it's going to glow nicely. And this is the final clock. So I'm just coming closer. So you can see that that white powder actually came out to be a purple that mixed in, and the green is there, and the blue. So you can see those 3 colours have actually blended up really nicely into the clock. I just put a few diamantes on, bedazzled it a bit. And the clock itself, it's just you put these 3 pins into the clock, and then you just, of course, line up your 12 to the top and just push down, and that clips in there nicely. And then you can just stand it up. Okay, thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to be notified when I put more videos up, then hit the bell icon. Thank you very much. Bye.